Welcome back to the 1885 show. Today, we've got something a little bit different for us. We're not going to be looking back at matches or players, nothing like that. This is all about you getting to know the team that we have here at the 1885 show. So, in this episode, I'll be putting the boys through their paces. We're going to be asking all about their history supporting Millwall and what the club means to them. We keep saying this, but honestly, we are so overwhelmed by all the support we've had so far. We honestly can't put into words how much it means to us all. Guys, if you enjoy the content, you want to show us your support and you want to see more from us, please give us a like and subscribe. And if you want to put a comment down below for your answers to the questions I'll be asking the boys, that'd be absolutely great as well. Not only would this mean the world to us, it does wonders for the YouTube algorithm, and it makes sure that even more Millwall fans like yourselves will see the work we're doing here at the 1885 show. Thank you again. I hope you enjoy the show. 1999, at the Den, we played Wigan at home. We were 3-0 down after 64 minutes. At 3-0 down, we decided to start making our way out of the stadium. So started walking down the steps. It was in East Upper at the time. 78th minute, Paul Shaw scores. It's 3-1. By the time we got downstairs, Tim Cahill scores. It's 3-2. So me and my dad ran back upstairs. 90th minute, we get a penalty. Neil Harris bangs it in. I burst into tears, and I think Millwall were the best thing in the world. And I had no hope after that, mate. It was always going to be Millwall for me.
So I had to go back and think about it. It's fucking heavy because I got some stub somewhere of it, and I remember it being Preston. We lost the game. We was at home. We lost the game. I can't remember the score. It was 97, 98. And for the life of me, I just can't remember. And I'd have to go back and have a look to find out the actual ins and outs of it. Because that's quite an on the spot question. Yeah, but we played Preston. We lost. I was about 9 years old, 97, 98. I'll have to double back. Maybe you can confirm that for me in the post notes maybe. But yeah, Preston home, it was a loss, which was typical of what led to be the next 40, nearly 40 plus years of watching Millwall. But it's changing now, this late on. So, yeah, Preston in a loss.
Right, so my first game was Wrexham at home. I can't remember the year. It was either 2001, 2002. I'd have been like 2 or 3 years old. My dad brought me to my first game. So I don't actually remember going to the game. The only thing I remember saying was David Beckham was playing, and it was actually Darren Ward. Yeah, but the actual first game I actually remember was the Scunthorpe Wembley. And that was the first year. Obviously, we got to the final and lost 3-2. And then I got my first season ticket the season after, which we went up. So that was the first game I remember. But officially, yeah, first game was 2001, 2002 against Wrexham. Couldn't tell you the score or what the occasion was, but yeah.
To be fair, my first ever game was the FA Cup final in 2004. But I was a bit too young to remember that. So the first actual game I remember was it was a 4-4 draw against Nottingham Forest, but Neil Harris scored a hat-trick. But I'm not sure actually what year it was. It was probably around 2007, 2008, I reckon. But yeah, I just remember going, I think it ended 4-4, and then Neil Harris scored a hat-trick, so you can't really get more memorable about that. So yeah, it was a good game.
My first ever Millwall game was back in 1993. when we played Southend at home at the Den, and yeah, unfortunately we lost 4-1 that game. Wasn't a great first game to go to, but an experience as a 6-year-old kid going to my first Millwall game.
Right, my first ever Millwall game was Millwall v Palace at home at the Den in 2006. When Ben May scored an 89th minute winner. It's pretty packed out. But yeah, like it was one of my first Millwall games ever that my dad took me to. So yeah, loved it. It's got the bug ever since.
That's not a bad first game, to be fair. Palace at home.
Yeah, it's not a bad game at all, is it?
No, I can't complain, mate.
Yeah.
this is going to be really random. And if you were there, you will know exactly what I was talking. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It was the playoff final against Swindon. For anyone that can cast your mind back that far, it was pissing down with rain. It was torrential.
Complete contrast to
weather.
the year before, where it was 110 degrees, wasn't it? In
Exactly.
the Scunthorpe game, yeah.
No, exactly. And you come out Wembley Way, you go down the steps, and there's that bridge, right?
Yeah.
You sort of go underneath the bridge. That bridge underneath there was just absolutely rammed with what felt like every single Millwall fan
Trying to
in
get dry.
the southeast area. Yeah. The noise in there was incredible. And you know, when you walk in there and you think to yourself, you touched upon it, and you mentioned about Huddersfield, of just the energy and electricity, and you just think to yourself, we're having this, we're winning today.
Yeah.
I knew then, there's no way we leave this stadium without a win. And that was my, if I could like bottle a feeling and bottle a moment in my life, it would be that one.
Yeah. No, I feel that.
Incredible.
God. There's, the thing is, it all comes down to a game, right? They're probably all going to be a game, the best memories. But when you look at, you know, the FA Cup final was just, right, I'd never seen anything like it. And then Huddersfield at home, I'd see Huddersfield at home for me in the playoffs. That was massive for me. Like, I felt I think how that made me feel, like the electricity of it, like the nerves of it, you know, that's up there. Leeds away as well. Jimmy Abdou getting the second goal for us to give us a little bit of a cushion. Southampton away only recently when Harris come back, you know, to set the charge to keep us up. I think that's a monumental moment in Millwall history. The changing of the tide, if you will. Bradford away in the FA in the playoffs as well. There's so many moments. They're all games, you know. They're all games really. But if I was to pick one, it would have to be the FA Cup final. It would just have to be that field, that day, that club we're playing against, some of the players on that pitch, you know, Cristiano Ronaldo's, your Keane, Scholes, and you know, it was just like this is big time. You know, this is the biggest game I've ever seen us be a part of. So yeah, I'd have to say the FA Cup game for me personally.
I'll be surprised that's the only time we get that answer, mate.
Yeah, I don't think it will be, but they're all going to be games, right? You know, out to Hungary for the European tour, and you know, they're all going to be. It is going to be a game. I don't necessarily think it's going to be a massive moment as such, but you know, it is them type of games, them games we've been a part of. Yeah, they were all, and I was at 99% of them. They were all electric, but the FA Cup one was, it was a bit special.
Memory, it's got to be beating Bradford. I think I was either 17 or 18. I'm trying to think now. And so, like, it was the first time I was like, we went into the Green Man. I might have actually been underage, and like, just celebrating, like, obviously last minute winner. Or like 5 minutes ago winner, Steve Morrison, like club legend scoring. I think it was more special than the Swindon one because I was like a kid at Swindon when we beat them. Yeah. So yeah, Bradford at home, and then obviously what that's now led on to since, the impact that game has had, because I think if we hadn't have won that, we'd have lost half our squad and we'd have been an average League One side for about 5-6 more years.
Oh, probably Gary Alexander's volley. Again, another probably Wembley moment. Yep. Just I remember being so out of the game and feeling like we'd, again, just not going to be good enough. And then out of nowhere, from a throw-in, just absolutely probably the best goal ever scored at Wembley. Even the commentator said it that day. I just remember the crowd going wild, just getting grabbed by everyone and just literally getting thrown up in the air. And yeah, it was just a great experience, and it's probably the best memory that stuck with me so far.
So my favourite Millwall memory has to be when we got promoted from Div 2 when we played Oldham at home.
Yeah.
And we won 5-0 on that day. The atmosphere that day was just crazy. To experience something like that on, like I say, I was still quite young, going onto the pitch after celebrating and then seeing all the players celebrating like they did. It was a great day.
I remember that game really well. I remember full time being desperate to get on the pitch. I must have been, I must have been a kid, and my dad was firmly grabbing my shirt collar, like, absolutely no chance, mate. You're staying here.
Yeah, no, I actually managed to get onto the pitch, so it was a nice day. It was a very, I still remember it to this day because, like I say, it's such a memorable day. It was, the weather was great. It was sunny. It was a really nice sunny day. And yeah.
No.
My favourite Millwall memory was the Bradford City playoff final at Wembley when Steve Morrison scored in the 86th minute. Down literally by the corner flag, he came across, slid, and he was literally right in front of me when he celebrated. So yeah, that's a living memory that lives in me for years to come.
You didn't go to picture, did you?
What's that?
You didn't go to picture, did you?
No chance.
Good boy, well played.
No.
Keep yourself out of prison. Well done, mate. Yeah, I think most of our players are from when we're young, right? We all think they're superheroes. My favourite Millwall player of all time is Stephen Reid, because he was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, he was class,
an incredible footballer. And he should have had a better career than he did. His injuries, obviously, he suffered with his injuries. More when he was at Blackburn, he was with us. But he was probably the first player I remember looking at thinking, this guy is just insane. And is that shot so many screamers. Like, this might sound ridiculous, but in my head, Stephen Reid's like a poor man Steven Gerrard. Like,
I can see that.
Tall,
yeah. Especially the way he strike the ball as well.
Strike the ball. He could run with the ball. He put a tackle in. What couldn't Stephen Reid do in a football pitch?
Do you know what? This is going to be a little bit. I don't think many people are going to say this, but my favourite player of all time is Jimmy Abdou. And I said this when I've done these types of shows before. Jimmy Abdou for me just was everything you wanted in a Millwall player. Absolutely everything. He sacrificed the beauty of being a central midfielder and wanting to get on the ball and try and being a flair type player, to just being someone who did what the shirt required, someone to just sit on the number 8, chase him around all game. He might not touch the ball all game, but he's done what he's been asked to do. And countless managers that came into Millwall tried to get rid of him. Every manager that came in thought he ain't good enough. He's not a great football player. He ain't good enough. Benched him. And we'd start to lose games, realising we need Jimmy Abdou. And when Jimmy come back we'd win games. Some of his goals, like the Leeds goal, Southampton away in a 1-1 draw. It was the first time I went to Southampton. We needed to draw. I think it was like a header outside of the box. It was a ridiculous header. Wigan at home in the cup, in the league, to help out in a relegation battle. Yeah, Jimmy's been part of promotion teams. He was at the club for he got his testimonial. He's right up there at the top of the pack for me, Jimmy. And yeah, he's just that. He's a bit like N'Golo Kante, really. Like, he's one of them players that I just don't think anybody would hate, even rivals. I just don't think anybody would ever hate him. And I just absolutely love Jimmy. Absolutely loved him. And yeah, he's at the top of the list for me. Might be a surprise to some people because you got the I've been through the Harris Prime, Tim Cahill. There's been other players that probably other people would pick above, but for me, it was Jimmy. I absolutely love Jimmy.
No, mate, it's a great shout, and I think a lot of people forget he was also in the Bradford game. Obviously, when he got promoted at that Wembley final as well. He was played, so there probably weren't many players that have played for the club for that duration of time.
Played at both, he played at both, and he played in the early days of the Gary Alexander era in them teams, and he was there for the 2015 or 2016 2017 season for us. He was there such a long time. Not many players are at a club for 10 years. They get a testimonial and they're right up there for appearances. And he wasn't the greatest football player, but he was just so consistent. He did what anyone asked him to do. He was so unselfish, so humble, and just so consistent. And I met him a couple times when I took the kids down there. Just such a nice person, always stood for photos and stuff. And I got a nice one of little Fred and him on testimonial day. Yeah, just what a great bloke. And if you can sign Jimmy Abdu's, you'll be all right as a football club.
I go Steve Morrison. I just love him. I love everything about Steve Morrison. I feel like when he first came in, he was the goal scorer. He was, he was our number 9, even though he won number 20 kind of thing. And then when he came back, he sort of took the weight of his shoulders. He took like the young lads that never had to worry. It was all about Morrison. And he sort of took that pressure off the young lads in that League One playoff hunt. And I've absolutely loved him. I know once we got to the Championship, he weren't able to do as much as he probably would have liked in terms of goals. But I just think he was such a good leader and captain. And yeah, we've probably not had someone like him up front since he left, basically, where he was more of a general, bully in your face and just nasty to play against.
I've got to say Jimmy Abdu. Just everything about the man is just Millwall. I feel like he's one of the players that you're never going to say he's the best player of your club, but he's definitely one of the most Millwall players that's come in and just took it over and said, I am a Millwall player. And yeah, everyone loves Jimmy Abdu. So
it's funny. So Jay gave the exact same answer, and we said in his one that we kind of forget that he was in both promotion squads as well under Kenny Jackett and Harris. Obviously, he come in for the final, didn't he? Instead of coming for the playoffs, in fact, instead of Ben Thompson. But yeah, what a player, and obviously leads away right in this playoffs.
That's the thing, like he has moments, but you just knew if he scored, it was a goal that was going to mean something, because he would never score until it would actually needs to happen. So again, like the goal against Southampton, the goal against Leeds, you just never think it's going to be him, and it just was. So
he probably only got in the box twice in his whole Millwall career.
Yeah, he's a bit like Billy Mitchell. He gets a bit of a nosebleed when he gets up the field, and then
yeah.
Well, this is a tricky one because, as I was obviously, like I say, I started off quite young. My very first person I really liked was Ben Thatcher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was a great player that I really liked. Just took no nonsense from anything. He was a good defender. But as I was growing up, obviously it was like Tim Cahill as well, the likes of him. He was a really big player that I liked. And then obviously, like you say, big legends in Neil Harris as well. But I'd say my very first player I really liked was Ben Thatcher.
My favourite all-time Mill player was Steve Morrison. I mean, he was just growing up as a kid. I was a striker, so like just watching Steve Morrison down at the Den scoring goals left, right, and centre for fun was just like a memory that just growing up as a kid striker. I loved him. He just headers, right foot, left foot, goals, volleys. Like the guy was just unreal. So yeah, Steve Morrison for me was my favourite player.
What's your favourite Steve Morrison goal, mate? Other than the Wembley one you just mentioned.
Do you know what? I mean, apart from the Wembley one, I remember when he scored against Charlton. Do you remember when he lobbed the goalkeeper when we played him at home?
Yeah.
And yeah, that goal for me, like the keeper come out and he just literally side-footed it over the keeper and it went in. Like that was just unreal. It's like you can't match that, especially against Charlton as well.
Was that
just
the 4-0 game?
Yeah, the 4-0 game, yeah.
What a game.
Yeah, that game. What a goal.
The other time we beat them 4-0, yeah.
Yeah, the other time we beat them 4-0, yeah. Yeah, very true, very true.
A controversial one, mate, but it's Camille Negley. He's a player that I don't care if I'm wrong. I backed him from day one, and I am going to stick with it until the end of time, mate.
Yeah, fair.
And now every single week he walks out there, and he makes me look intelligent. So I appreciate him even more for it. He is incredibly silky. He's got a lot of on the ball quality, and you can see him sort of playing at a better standard as he grows more into the league. But his off the ball work, how hard he runs, his defensive tracking back, and how quickly he's adjusted to the league after a tricky start. But yeah, Camille Negley, mate, I think he's absolutely mustard.
Jay Cooper. And Jay Cooper's going to be, when it's all said and done, when he leaves Millwall, in one of my, up there with Jimmy Abdu as we might even, I don't think he'll eclipse him for my own personal views, but yeah, Jay Cooper I just think, I'll put a tweet out on the personal and on the pod account that you look at all the defenders that have played in this Millwall team in Jake Cooper era, and you've had Ballard, Creswell, Hutchinson, Murray Wallace at times, Tristan Kramer, Caleb Taylor, Wes Hardy, all the defenders that have played next to him, Jaffet Tanganga. they've all looked brilliant, but there's the one common denominator that's been there has been Jake Cooper, and he's going to head into the top 5 all-time appearances at the club. He's the top goal-scoring defender in the club's history. He's second all-time in the championship for goals in history. He's available, he's reliable, and he's consistent. They are the 3 words I'd use to describe Jake Cooper. He is a model employee of Millwall Football Club. He speaks with such poise and calmness and leadership, which I think's been questioned. I think a lot of people have questioned his leadership, and I don't think they should anymore, because he is currently captain of a side that is really doing well. Everyone seems to respect him. He is currently my favourite player in this squad, and will go down as one of my favourite Millwall players of all time, because I genuinely think he's one of the greatest Millwall players of all time, and he's still playing. And I think when it's all said and done and he hangs it up, he'll have an argument for that top 5 Millwall player of all time, in my opinion. And if he takes us up as captain, I don't know what else anyone would have to do outside of what Neil Harris done as a player, the promotions, the goals, and as a manager, the promotions, the coming back to save us, etc. I think he's in a different category along with the Belson family. I don't think you'd be able to find many reasons to not put Jake Cooper as one of the greatest Millwall players of all time.
Oh, good question. I'll go Ivanovic. I really do like Ivanovic. I know he's not everyone's cup of tea, because sometimes he comes across like he hasn't done enough in the game or something like that. But I just think he's still a young lad. You know, what is he, 21, maybe 22 now? Like,
something like that.
Yeah. He's come from some unknown league that you play on Football Manager. Like, I still think that give him a couple more seasons and he generally is a 20-goal season striker. I know it's a big shout, but I think he is. I think sometimes we don't play to his strengths. And I think if we actually got him the ball inside the box, because that's what he wants. He just wants the ball in the box, first time finish, and he'll put it in the back of the net. He doesn't need to think about it. And I just think, yeah, he's my favourite player. Kramer's a close second, but I just think Ivanovic is just, I don't know, something about Ivanovic, I just really love him.
Tristan Kramer, he's just unreal. And if we don't go out this year, I can't see him staying beyond this year, to be fair.
Absolutely no chance.
He's definitely at least mid-table Premier League level ready now, and he's still developing. And in fact, he's not a right back, and he's better than probably all the right backs in the league. It's just unreal.
Yeah,
In terms of like all-round game, obviously there's better defensively or attacking right backs, but overall I don't think there's much better than him. And yeah, he's just come in. He was meant to be the Tanganga replacement. Then now Taylor's basically the Tanganga replacement, and he's basically stepped to him and said, like, this is now my role. But yeah, he's unreal.
Do you think he's centre back or right back?
He can be what he wants.
He's
that good. Like, he's that good. He could be centre back and he could be right back. He could be anywhere.
My favourite player in the current team has got to be Cooper.
Interesting.
Jay Cooper. I just think from where he's come to what he's doing now is amazing, you know? Like, he started off very slow as a defender, and then as the years got on, he's improved with the players, obviously, like Hutch, and like obviously now at the moment with the player that he's got, obviously being the captain that he is now. He's just, I think he's showing himself as a true leader and a good captain.
It's an interesting one, mate, because a couple of years ago, I used to look at Cooper, and I'm going to be completely honest here. I think he's a great player for us. He's a legend, or modern day legend, certainly. But I never thought he was a captain. I don't think he has the vocal side or the anger in his game to really get players by the scruff of the neck. But this year, I've changed my mind.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. Like, obviously, when you first got made captain, you think, well, was that a right choice? But he's come on heaps and bounds, and like he's saying, his true character and being a true leader. He's egging everyone on, and just been a great captain and a servant to the club.
For me, Femi Aziz, like signing him from Reading for £1 million, I think is probably the best £1 million the club spent. Obviously, he was injured last season, and this season he's been unreal. I mean, the amount of goals and assists he's got this season, carried us this season. Yeah, he's just unreal, really is. So I'm going to go for him as each for me.
Jordan Archer wasn't that bad. Now, let me just add some context to this. We've had worse since.
Yeah.
We've had a lot worse since. He pulled off an absolute blinding save, which is the reason that we're in the Championship now.
Yeah, that 1-on-1 against Bradford, yeah.
He got Player of the Year that year, if I remember rightly, or maybe the year before, I can't remember.
Yeah.
When we got to Championship, he was an absolutely pony. Let's have it right. But he wasn't all bad. He gets more, put it this way, he gets more stick than I think his performances maybe across his whole time at the club maybe deserve. But he gets lumped in with the likes of, let's have it right, George Long.
He's better than George Long. He's better than Bender.
It's like, come on.
I personally believe, and this is going to upset, the Casper Denores of the world. I actually personally believe that Billy Mitchell is the best central midfielder we've got at the club. I think when fit and healthy, I genuinely believe Billy Mitchell is what makes us tick. Casper's amazing. Casper's brilliant at his deep playmaking ability. But without Billy Mitchell, we are such a worse off team than we are without Casper Denore. When Billy don't play, we lose games. When Casper was out, we was getting by. Now, I love Casper, but this is a controversial opinion. Billy Mitchell, for me, is the best central midfielder at the club, and he should be locked up on the long-term deal if he can prove his fitness by the end of the season. I get that that's a problem for him. I do understand that that is a problem for football in general. If you're not healthy, then you shouldn't be rewarded with luxurious contracts. But Billy Mitchell, under Alex Neil, has completely revolutionised his game. He's forward-thinking, he's attacking, he's defending, he fills in at left-back for Alfie when he gets forward. He allows Alfie Doughty to get us forward as much as he does. His tenacity, the way he blocks his interceptions, his agility, just everything about him is perfect for a central midfielder. You want him to add more goals, but I don't think that's his job. But Alex Neil gets a tune out of Billy Mitchell, and I think Neil Harris did as well. He was key in keeping us up when Harris was here as well. He got brought back into the frame. So my controversial opinion is that Billy Mitchell is the best central midfielder at the club, and it shouldn't be a controversial opinion in all honesty for me.
Good God. This is tough. Jordan Archer is not as bad as people made out.
I'm so glad you said that.
He made mistakes. Don't go. I'm not going to pretend he didn't make mistakes. But you go to the Bradford player final.
Yeah.
Even Seaman quote tweeted it, going, "That was an amazing save." If he doesn't make that save, they go 1-0 up, and I'm telling you now, they go 1-0 up, they win that game, probably 2 or 3-0.
Comfortably.
We'd have killed us. They were killing us that game. Only because we scored. We didn't deserve to win. Sunderland away, I remember being in the away end at Sunderland and he threw basically 2 in his own net. Like, I'm not excusing their mistakes, but overall as a goalkeeper, Jordan Archer was actually an okay goalkeeper. I think he tailed off, don't get me wrong, but them first two seasons or whatever it was, he won player of the season in his first full year. And then I thought in the Championship that first year where that was the Sunderland year, I know, but I feel like he was actually an okay goalkeeper. I didn't think he wasn't the reason we didn't win games. When he did make mistakes, he didn't cost us many points. And he's nowhere near the George Longs of the world, the Stephen Benders of the world.
I don't think Negley's as good as everyone's saying he is. I really don't. He works hard, and I feel like there is a player in there. It's just, I just don't see it. And I think before he hit the form that he has, the last few games he's been much, much better.
Yeah.
But again, he's not producing assists or goals. And I'm not counting that one against Cholton where he missed the pen and tapped it back in for a couple.
No, it's not having that. He's not having that. Yeah.
Like, and even that in itself, he didn't have the greatest game against Cholton, didn't do nothing to earn the penalty. So I don't actually know the thought process behind why he was on the penalty and felt like he deserved to take it. But don't get me wrong, like the last few games he's been much better, but just the whole consumption online especially, where it's singing his praises. Sometimes people say he's man of the match and I'm thinking, for what? Like, I don't respectfully see that, because half the time it's Taylor or Kramer or Billy Mitchell, and then people will shout his praise and I'm like, fair play. Like, as a Millwall player, we back him regardless, but I just don't think he's the type of. I don't think he's the Fleming that everyone thinks that he is. Again, at least with Fleming, he wouldn't have a great game, but he'd get a goal or two or an assist, or he'd drag the players up. With Negley, if he's out the game, he's out the game.
So I think Billy Mitchell is underrated. Going into this, obviously, I think when he first got into the squad, he was young. Everyone thought he was weak. Just his ability of passing the ball was always going sideways, backwards. He never wanted to adapt and go forward. Like you could see the space that he could pass into, but he would never do it. He was like, he was scared to do that. But as the years have got on with him, and obviously the players that's been around him, and obviously the coaching from different types of managers, he's starting to improve in that sense. He's starting to go forward. He's starting to drive at players, and some of the balls this season he's whipped to, like I say, there's Z's goal for West Brom. That ball to him was crazy. So I think, Billy Mitchell.
Okay, right. So people might not like me saying this, but I'm gonna go for that Tristan Kramer could play in any of the top half of the Premier League sides.
That is a controversial take, mate, because he was at Brentford and they let him go.
Yeah, it is controversial. But look, if you look at his performances this season, I mean, he's probably, if not, I think he's the best defender in the league, in my opinion, in the Championship. I just think with his pace, his power, his defensive capabilities that he's got in his armour, I just think that any top half, like the Brightons and the Bournemouths, the teams that, you're looking at them sort of teams, what they're buying now. I mean, these players that they're getting in from foreign leagues, I mean, Kramer is probably, if not the same to them, really. He's still young. Yeah. He's still young. He's still, got a lot of time left in the game. He's got proof as well. Like, let's not kid ourselves. I mean, Exeter League One, okay, and then he stepped up to us in the Championship, and he's shown that he's one of the best in the league. So I think he could play in any of the top half teams, like the Bournemouths and Brightons and things like that.
Well, hopefully you're right, mate, but hopefully Millwall at the top half Premier League team, and hopefully he's doing it for us.
Well, let's hope so. Right?
That's the dream, mate. That's the dream.
Season, that'll be a great start, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it just?
Yeah.